Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Vanessa and I pretty much love all things beauty related. So in today's video, I thought it'd be cool to go through two products that I feel are very much overhyped right now, and I want to find out if they are actually worth all the attention they are getting, or if they're just like a mediocre product, something that works well but isn't super amazing, blow your mind, I need it right now kind of product. What I am talking about is the new SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector and the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. And these are from Makeup by Mario. I cannot look at someone's feed or a YouTube video without seeing these, so you're probably super sick of them already, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on them. These are what they look like. This is the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. If I could open it up. The SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector is this one right here. So I will hold both of these up to the camera. Now, essentially, my understanding from watching videos and hearing about them is that this is a cream bronzer, and this is kind of like a glowy finishing powder, but that's kind of more on the bronzy side. Like, you wouldn't use this as like a setting powder because obviously that is darker than my skin, but it will kind of give you that bronzed glow finish, but also kind of like set everything in place. So the way I think about them in my mind is that this is a cream bronzer, this is a powder bronzer that's got glow and luminosity to it. They do have a matte bronzer. So he has the SoftSculpt bronzer, which is this one right here. I absolutely love it. I've used it quite a few times, and this is probably my new favorite bronzer discovery. Bronzers seem to be making their way and coming back. Everyone's coming out with a cream bronzer, it seems like, or a powder bronzer. So I think it's just the time of year. Everyone wants to be bronzed and glowing and living their best summer life. So what I thought I would do is try these on, and then I will finish my makeup and come back and let you know whether I think these are worth it. I'm gonna be honest, without even trying them, I find it hard to believe that they're like the new best thing on the block. Everyone's got to have it. I think going into this, I feel it is quite overhyped. Do I think it's going to be a poor quality product? No, not at all. I think it's going to perform very well. Everything I have from Makeup by Mario does perform quite well, but I don't think it's going to be something that I feel like I'm going to reach for every single day above everything else, because it's just like the thing that works no matter if I'm having a bad makeup day or a good makeup day. Only time will honestly tell, but we can do first impressions and see how it goes. So I'm gonna scooch a little bit closer. I'm trying to do something a little bit more like beachy and summery fun. I'm seeing all the braids and like the mermaid hair, so I thought I would combine them together. For what I'm wearing on my face, you can see the description box down below. Just looking at this from a first impressions perspective, I really don't like that there's no mirror in this. I mean, for holding it up on YouTube, that's quite nice because my mirror's not going to get all like fingerprinted up and gross. But I'm also the kind of person who likes to do their makeup in a mirror. So there's that. I understand it's because if you're keeping this in your collection, you want to be able to tell all three apart. So let's just go into the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I have the shade Light Medium. Now, I did go into the store and swatch them when they first came out. They did not have the shade Light Medium in when I went there, so I had to order it. I found a few of the shades to be a little bit either too yellow or too cool toned and dark, so I'm hoping this is gonna work out, but honestly it looks quite dark in the pan. My understanding though is that it's a very sheer formula. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. stippling brush. I'm just picking up a bit, and what I like to do when I have a new product, and I feel like this is just a good general practice for anyone who's trying out a new product for the first time is to take whatever you pick up with and put it on the back of your hand first. This is just going to help you get an idea of the color that you have, but also the opacity and how bold it might be when you first apply it. So I've just gone in a bit. The color looks to be nice for my skin tone, a very cool toned shade, so it's gonna work nice for bronzing and sculpting, which is what I want. With my brush, it's applying quite nicely, but it feels like a powder, which is very odd. I expected this to feel a little bit more cool on my skin. Now, this is a great brush for any cream products, for cream highlight, cream bronzer, cream blush, and I think it retails for like $3 or $4 Canadian dollars. You can find it at Walmart, and it's their small stippling brush. I have 2 of these. I would love to have a million so I never have to wash them, but this is a great brush. So it's applying quite nicely, and it's really spreading out, yet it still has a bunch of pigment to it. Like it's not dispersing and then looking very like patchy or muddy, or like it's showing a lot of the pigment that I have underneath my skin. It's giving me coverage. That's pretty much what I meant to say. It's meshing in quite nicely. Looks very natural and seamless. Now, you know, right now I have been in love with the Rare Beauty bronzer because it is a stick, so I kind of really skip the step of going in and then applying to my face. I just go straight on and then blend it out with a brush. Blends out quite nicely. It's easy for travel, and I know I can use my hands or a sponge for that formula. It's also, I want to say, a bit more bold in color than this one when you put it down. So this one, I think you would have to build up to get it to the color that the Rare Beauty one has when I first place it. I think this is going to be really great for those of you out there who maybe are new to makeup, new to cream bronzers, and are kind of nervous about using cream products and just bronzers in general. Now, if you don't know what bronzers are for, they're pretty much to deepen the skin and make it look like you've got like this natural tan going on in certain areas of your face. They also can provide a bit of dimension as well. So when we talk about sculpting your face, really carving out potentially your cheekbones, mine are right here. So I'm kind of drawing a line right above those cheekbones. You can also use it to, you know, maybe slim out certain portions of your face if you're maybe wanting to give a look of a skinnier nose or a more defined jaw or forehead. So not only is it to mimic like a tan in real life, but also to almost change the shape of your face without having cosmetic surgery. So I think that's pretty much the cream version right now. It's quite light and subtle. I think this was a good shade for me. So this is light medium. And I would say I'm definitely more on the light fair side. So if you were light skinned, like more of a light to medium skin tone, you might want to try medium. If you are more fair than me, I think I would go with the light shade, but I would definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity, to go in store and swatch these, because I did notice the color that I thought I was going to be, which was light, was quite orange and yellow. Let's try Skin Perfector. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on this side and just use the Skin Perfector, like a glowy type of bronzer, and then on this side I will use the original powder bronzer, and then I'll layer this on top and kind of see the difference when you build up all three. So you can see in this one there's a gradient. It goes light and then a little bit more gold and then a little bit more cool toned. My understanding is you can swirl your brush in it and get a combination of all three, or you can kind of like pick an area and blend the two together based on like the kind of glow you're looking for. Now it looks like the more shimmery tones are up here, and then here it's a little bit more matte. I'm just going to bounce my brush around all of it. Now, as I do that, I'm noticing there's a little bit of powder coming up here. It could just be the brush I'm using. There's definitely a fair amount of pigment. Like I said, with any new product that you may not be familiar with the formula, hit on the back of your hand first. If you don't like to hit the back of your hand, keep some Kleenexes or paper towels, or use a towel that you're not in love with, like the face cloth. And then you can bounce it in that. And then I'm going to go on top. See a little bit of powder kicking up. Okay, not loving it. I feel like it's not adding the pigment that I'm looking for. It's very much on the yellow side, kind of like a golden type of highlighter. That's a little bit maybe too deep for me. What shade did I get? I didn't even tell you. This is the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. I got the shade Light. I would say that's light, but I am really not enjoying the finish, to be honest. Now what I'm gonna do is, I've cleaned off this brush. I'm gonna go into this bronzer right here. This is the SoftSculpt bronzer in the shade Medium. And you can see why I'm a little bit confused with their shade range, because in the cream bronzer, I'm the shade Light Medium. In the Skin Perfector, oh wait, this is the Skin Enhancer, I'm the shade Light. And then in their original powder bronzer, I'm the shade Medium. So even though in order of application, I would go this one, then this one, in terms of shade, this is light, this is light medium, and this is medium. Let's go through and apply the bronzer. Just going to apply it right here, a little higher up than where I applied the cream bronzer, but then also going on top and just kind of sculpting it, and then I'll just go on top here. So I like the way that looks. It's a little bit more on the red tone, which I like for my bronzers to be a little bit more warm, instead, like warm with a red undertone instead of warm with like a yellow / orange. That looks a lot more natural, and it matches the Skin Enhancer a lot better. I'll do swatches on my hands so you can see them as well. Now let's go on top. What I'm gonna do is go on top with a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use this as if it were like a finishing powder, kind of like a setting powder that just goes right here on my cheeks. So I'm just gonna tuck this in, really just work it off my hand, and then just kind of bounce it on top. And I'm kind of just like swirling it. Okay, I'm noticing a definite difference between the two sides now that I've done it one way versus the other. So on this side where I just went on top with this one, I can see a lot of gold kind of clumping together here. Let me scooch in and just kind of show you. Right here, there's a lot of texture as well, which is not what I want for my face. I'm already quite oily. I typically do have texture as it is, and I really don't want that enhanced. Now on this side, everything is looking a lot smoother and definitely perfected and kind of like blurred. It just looks like it's all one together, and like you can't distinguish between the different layers. I feel like on this side you can see that I've layered products, whereas this one, it looks like, would you know it's actually 3 products layered on top, or would you think it's just one? I personally would think it's just one looking at it, but I know that it is 3. So I'm definitely liking this side better. I don't like that there's a bit of a learning curve with this. I also just kind of don't see the need to have something like this where you take your brush and you just swirl it in and it gives you a slight blurring effect, when I don't know that it makes enough of a difference. So I'm going to finish up my makeup. I'm going to put on my blush, and I will come back and give you my final thoughts. Oh, and we'll also do some swatches. So this is the completed look. It's very pink, very dusty rose, but I'm pretty happy with it. I like the way my blush is sitting on top of everything. The blush applied quite nicely on top. I just have to give a little shout out. I know this is a video dedicated to Makeup by Mario and the two new bronzers, but I have been in love with the Bite Beauty Vacation Whipped Blush in the shade Watermelon Marge. In particular, it's this kind of like muted dusty rose, cool toned pink, and then I've been pairing it with Willa from Benefit. This combination I've just been in love with and cannot stop wearing when I'm not filming, but this is the first time I think I'm putting it on camera together, and I love it so much. So just wanted to give a shout out for those two because I've really been enjoying them. All right, let's talk about these products. I like the cream bronzer. I'm definitely gonna get use out of this. I know it probably will be something that I use in my lineup with my Say Beauty bronzer and then also my Rare Beauty bronzer. I will add this into the queue and we'll continue to use it and see how it goes. I do like that it is a little bit more sheer and more buildable. So if I'm feeling something quite natural and really quick, it blended out quite easily. I felt like I didn't have to work really hard to blend it out. I have to say I'm very interested in it, and I'm glad I picked it up and will be adding it to my collection because I do have a lot of cream bronzers, but they all vary in terms of like opacity, and this I would have to say is probably one of the lightest and more sheer formulas I have in my collection, and for that reason I think, like I said, I would love it for no makeup days, and also something I could recommend for people who are new to makeup. Now this one, I don't know, I understand this one being something everyone's talking about. The SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector is kind of just like to me. Like, I don't like how it looks on this side where it was looking really golden, kind of like a really dark highlighter that didn't match my skin tone, but then I could also see my pores and any texture there. I really didn't like that. I had to figure out another way to use it, which was to use a fluffy brush and kind of just use it like a light setting powder, but it's only really a setting powder that you can apply in one place. This one I think's a pass for me. I actually don't think I'm going to be reaching for it very often. I'm a little disappointed because I kind of just thought this was going to be a glowy bronzer that they were bringing to their lineup, and I don't really think it is. I love their regular bronzer, their matte bronzer. It works amazing. Definitely would recommend, and it is definitely a bronzer I'm very happy I added to my collection. Just quickly become one of my favorite everyday bronzers. This, however, if you're someone who likes a glow, or if you're someone who, you know, has dry skin and you like to make yourself look a little bit more glowy, you're getting the hydration from the cream bronzer and then you're gonna add the glow from this, I would just pass on this product. If you're oily like me, you don't need this because your oils are gonna come through anyways and give you a more natural, even glow than this could do for you. So out of the two products, one's kind of a hit, the other's definitely a miss. Upon my first impressions, I will play with these a bit more, but I don't have high hopes for this one. I hope you guys found this video very informative. Oh, totally forgot to do swatches. Let's do them here. So this is the Makeup by Mario. I've said this name a million times and I still don't know it. SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. We'll go into, I'm just gonna do a swatch of this next, which is the SoftSculpt Bronzer in the shade Medium. And this has such a silky, smooth, finely milled, beautiful texture. So now that these are side by side, you can see what I'm talking about one being a little bit more yellow toned. Clearly suck at swatches. So this one's definitely got more of a red undertone, whereas this one right here has a bit more of the like yellow base. I will do my best to swirl this around. We have the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. Yeah, this doesn't even feel, wow, I got really excited there. Oh, This doesn't even feel as smooth and silky as the regular bronzer does. This feels very chalky, coarse, and look at that chunkiness as I'm like swirling it around. I did not get that with this one. You can see right there the difference. When I swirled this, I didn't tap it off or wipe it off. I just closed the lid. But this one, all at the bottom here, there's a lot of residual powder that's kind of just been kicked up and is sitting there. And it feels like, even on my fingertip, it feels quite chunky. So already not a good sign. As I put it on my hand, it's looking barely visible. I don't know if you can see it that well because it's really not showing up. But that is the Skin Perfector right here. I did find that very informative for myself, and I was honestly quite curious about these products. Definitely have heard a lot of talk about these two products, and I wanted to find out for myself if they were actually worth all the hype. I think we know at this point that I feel pretty strongly, based on my first impressions, that the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer is certainly worth it. Now, is this one a Skin Perfector? Absolutely not. I do not feel like my skin looks perfected overall. I really don't like the formula. I don't like the texture, and I don't like the way this applied on my face. I just want to let you know that I'm not here to give a negative review on something just for the sake of being different. I would absolutely love this product because I think I spent around 43, maybe more Canadian dollars on this, which is a good chunk of change, especially because it's my own money and I chose to buy it. And I just don't want you to have to go out there and buy a product and then not like it or waste your money on something like that. And I think with this, it's definitely worth purchasing if you're in the market for a cream bronzer that's a little bit more on the sheer side. If you're not in the market for a bronzer, don't buy these. Like, it's that simple. Please don't. They're not anything groundbreaking. They're nothing revolutionary. And I don't think there's something that's gonna change your makeup game, that's gonna make you look amazing and everyone's gonna wonder what your secret is. So that being said, I think we will wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. As always, it is such a pleasure to sit here and talk with you about products and to just play with them and put my makeup on my face. I really do enjoy hanging out with you all. I hope you enjoy hanging out with me too. So have a great day wherever you are. I hope it's awesome, and I will see you in my next one. Love you all so much. Bye.